It's a new day and I'm moving on to vinyl records now. I've taken pictures of all the sheet music. It's not all listed, but I just kind of do that in my spare time, whatever that means. It's not as much of a priority, but I've got all the photos ready to make those listings, and I've decided to move on to vinyl records now. I kind of like taking a whole section of stuff and just doing it from start to finish. So I did all the books, got every single book done, did all the magazines and got every single magazine done. But I think I want to tackle these records because they're big and heavy, so it's going to be nice to clear out some space once some of these sell. And yeah, just kind of have to do one at a time to see what's good and what's not. This one is probably not good, but obviously somebody's taking the time to put it in a sleeve. And some of them I'm really surprised about already. I only had about 60 records that were listed, and I did about 100 yesterday, and we're gonna try and get to 5,000 because we probably have about 5,000 vinyl records. So if you're keeping an eye on our store, there's gonna be some records coming. And I know it's like, everybody knows, oh yeah, we want the rock albums, Led Zeppelin and the Beatles and things like that, but money-wise, there's some really obscure titles that are worth a lot of money. I've been watching other sellers, and this guy, he found one record that there was only 2 ever made, and he sold it for $6,000. And there's no way, unless you're an expert, that you would ever have heard of that person or knew exactly about that thing. So it's not really the famous albums that are worth tons of money as much. Some of them really are, like obviously mint condition Beatles album is going to be worth some money, but the things that I'm looking for here is obscure ones, and that's the reason for listing every single one individually and not just trying to guess which are the good ones and which are the bad ones. So yeah, I'll try and highlight any that I find that are interesting or anything that I notice. Yeah, and one thing I wanted to just to point out, if you are selling vinyl records, here's a very famous one. Just kidding. But don't touch the actual record inside on the flat surfaces. So when you're taking one out, it's okay to touch the sides of it, but you cannot touch the vinyl because you have grease on your fingers, even if you think you've got really clean hands. Yeah, anything that gets on this flat surface is gonna be wrecking the vinyl. So whenever people listen to it, they're gonna hear clicks and pops and interruptions, obviously if there's scratches or dust, but also any kind of grease that comes from your fingertips. So right here you can see I'm holding it. It's okay to touch the middle. It's the same like a CD. You don't really want fingerprints on a CD, but with a vinyl, especially if you have small hands, it's kind of hard to reach to the middle. But once you've got it out of the sleeve, you can hold it at the edges like this, just to inspect it. And if you see any deep scratches on there, that's not going to be one that's good to sell. But the way to clean these is if you have a vinyl brush. I'm not sure exactly what they're called, but it's kind of like a pad. That as the record is rotating, then you can just hold it on there and wipe some of the dust off. And you want to make sure you've cleaned the vinyl before you sell it, but also if you're a collector, I'm sure a lot of people know you need to clean it before you put it in your record player as well. So when you're putting it back in the sleeve, just be careful not to touch it. We're trying to add a photo of every LP, so the front and the back, and then when I take the record out of the sleeve, I'm putting it on top so it's not getting on a dirty surface, and just taking an angled shot. Sometimes it's hard to get a good picture because they're really reflective and you can see things almost like a mirror. But I've noticed that quite a lot of eBay listings, they either just have a generic picture of the album or even just the sleeve, but people really want to see both sides of the record. I don't think I'm going to be doing that, just to save time. My goal is to try and make 250 listings every day. That's the max you can do on the eBay app, but it's kind of slow going when you have to clean the items and take them out and photograph them 3 times. So when we're trying to do 5,000 albums or however many thousand there is, then every second counts. Even making this video counts, but that's okay. I am happy to document what I'm doing. If it helps people out a little bit, then that's great. And otherwise, yeah, if you're just interested in what we're doing each day, then this is today's goal, to start the vinyl records. So I wanted to give you some tips about handling them because, and I'm sure people know already, but yeah, don't store them horizontally. All the weight of all that vinyl on top, it just wrecks not just the case, but also the vinyl inside. You want to make sure they're all stored vertically, not leaning against one another. They want to stay as straight as possible. A lot of them have the name on the spine, which is nice for finding them, and we're trying to put them in alphabetical order like we do with most of our stuff. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. These IKEA cube shelves are how we've got the records stored at the moment. So what I'm doing is just going 1 cube at a time. So I'll take out a cube, list it for sale, and then alphabetize them as I go along. So because we need the space, I have to kind of shuffle it all along as we go. So I've started on the left here with anything that begins with a number or the letter A for those who are alphabet fans. And then at the end, we don't have any Z's yet, but I think we're up to W. So it's a bit of shuffling to move them all as we go. I'll have to keep going into this empty space, taking one out, going into the empty space, but then I think that's a good way to do it. And hopefully by the time we get to the end, there'll be some empty cubes because we'll have sold some along the way. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 of these IKEA 4x4 units, and then some of the huge shelves that I've got from Bed Bath & Beyond. I think 1 is full of vinyl records as well. So I'm saying 5,000, I don't exactly know. I should just count how many's in 1 cube here, and then I can get a rough estimate. Let me just do that. I've estimated there's about 90-ish records in each cube or in each square. And when you times that by 4 of these 4x4s, then that's 5,760-ish records plus the 1 tower we've got. So we're probably about 6,500 vinyl records to list. And today is June 21st. So let's see how long that takes. I understand why it's not allowed, but it's too bad I can't showcase some of the music from these. I just been playing this song and it's so good. This original song is really good, but I can't put a clip of it because of copyright reasons. But yeah, I wish we could put some of this stuff on our YouTube videos, even in the background. Keep on jumping.